Okay. Nutrition is the study of how food nourishes the body. Nutrients that supply energy are carbohydrates, protein, and lipids. Nutrients that regulate body processes are vitamins, minerals, and water. Carbohydrates are considered sugars and starches. Organic compounds are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. They serve as the structural framework of plants. Lactose is the only animal source. Most abundant and least expensive sources of calories in the world are carbohydrates. They're classified as either simple or complex. Okay, 90% of carbohydrate intake is digested. Carbs are converted to glucose for transport through the blood. The cells oxidize glucose to provide energy, carbon dioxide, and water, which can also be known as the Krebs cycle. 50 to 100 grams of carbs are needed daily to prevent ketosis. Okay, and ketosis is the abnormal accumulation of ketone bodies. Proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of amino acids, and they're required for the formation of all body structures. They could be labeled as complete or incomplete based on the amino acid composition. Incomplete are plant proteins and animal proteins are complete. A plant protein can be made complete by adding it with another plant protein, or maybe even adding it with a little bit of an animal protein. Something else is, soy. Soy is considered an animal protein, which is complete. Protein tissues are in a constant state of flux, and the recommended daily allowance for adults is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is 10% to 20% total calorie intake. Okay. Fats are insoluble to water and blood, composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen as well, and 95% of lipids in the diet are triglycerides. They contain mixtures of saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. The best type of fat to use is the unsaturated, which is the lower cholesterol level. Most animal fats are saturated. Most vegetable fats are unsaturated. Digestion occurs largely in the small intestines with fat, and most concentrated source of energy in the diet. RDA is not, the recommended daily allowance is not established and should be less than 30% daily caloric intake. Trans fat is not recommended. It's like partially hydrogenated fat, and like I said, unsaturated fat is kind of like the best fat to have. Organic compounds needed by the body in small amounts are called vitamins. They're active in the form of coenzymes, and they're needed for the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. They're classified as water-soluble and fat-soluble, absorbed in the intestinal wall directly into the bloodstream. Organic elements found in all body fluids and tissues are minerals. Some functions to provide structure in the body, and others help regulate the body processes. Macrominerals are calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium, and the microminerals include iron, zinc, manganese, and iodine. Water, of course, is two-thirds of body water is contained within the cells, which is the intercellular fluid, and the remainder of the body water is the extracellular, also well, which is the plasma in the interstitial fluid. It accounts for between 50% and 60% of adult total weight. BMR. Males have a higher BMR than women. and male BMR is 1 cal per kilogram, and female is 0.9 cals per kilogram. And factors increasing BMR is the growth, infection, fever, emotional tension, extreme environmental temperatures, elevated levels of certain hormones, and factors that decreases aging, prolonged fasting, and also sleep. You also need to know some developmental considerations for nutrition as far as growth, how nutrition increases the activity, and how nutrition increases the nutritional needs when activity is involved. Age-related changes in metabolism and body composition is an important developmental consideration. And fewer calories are required in adulthood related to the decrease in the body mass. The basal metabolic rate. And also look up your risk factors for poor nutritional status, your components of nutritional assessments, which I explained about history taken, physical assessments like the anthropometric, and clinical data and the laboratory data like the protein status, body vitamins, mineral and trace element status. There are different measures to assess the nutritional status, and factors to assess for the nutritional status. Also look at your biochemical chart for your prealbumin levels, your hemoglobin, platelets, and things of that nature, and make sure you look at your chart.